welcome back to my channel. My name is Darian and today I'm going to be picking my September TBR. So in September I am participating in 2 readathons. I am going to be doing the bookoplathon, which is hosted by Becca from Becca and the Books, which I feel like everybody is participating in this month, but if you don't know what that is, I will leave her announcement video linked down below. And the other readathon that I'm going to be participating in is the magical readathon, which is hosted by G from Book Roast, and I am so excited for this because I definitely missed the magical readathon this year. It used to be based off of something that we don't talk about anymore, and G just was like, you know what, I'm gonna keep the readathon, but I'm just gonna make up this whole new world, and it's all gonna come from my glorious brain. And here you go. And she has blessed us with this whole new readathon. Like, honestly, this is just G's world and we are just living it. But I am so excited to participate in this readathon, mostly because you only really need to complete 2 prompts to be successful. But anyways, so the way I'm going to be doing the bookoplathon this year is the same way that I did it last year, which is I'm going to be doing my roles throughout the month instead of doing them all in this video. So if you do want to see my roles for Bookopoly, definitely check out my vlogs that I'm going to be doing in September because that's when I'll be doing those roles. So what we're going to do today is I'm still going to be picking my TBR using the prompt jar that I use every single month, and the books that I pick in this TBR video, those are going to be the books that I'm going to choose from when I pick my prompts for the Bookopoly board. However, if I do get a prompt and none of the books that I picked today fit it, then I'll have to find something else to read because the Bookopoly board will overrule anything that I pick today. But when I do find books that fit those prompts, I'm going to be choosing from this video. Does that make sense? I think so. So yeah, I have my coffee because I'm very tired. Yep. I also want to point out the wonderful decorations on my shelves today. I set up my fall decorations because we all know that the first day of fall is August 1st, but I feel like most people start getting in the fall mood September 1st, so I waited till September. I mean, when I'm filming this it's August, but it's fine. But yeah, I hope you guys love it because I love it and I'm definitely already in the fall mood. I love fall so much. So yeah, another thing that I'm going to be doing this month is continuing the buzzwordathon. I still haven't fulfilled the prompt for August yet, but it's fine. I have everything under control. But the word for September is dark, and I only own 2 books that have the word dark in the title, and they're both supposed to be really sad. So can't wait for that. Yeah. So yeah, so without any further ado, let's just get into our first prompt. So if you saw August TBR, I did not do well with that TBR. I was in a really weird slump in August. Like, not even just a reading slump, just kind of an everything slump. So I kind of failed that TBR, but hopefully September. I also start school in September. So very excited about that, but hopefully that won't affect my reading too much. I really want to read as much as I can in September, but anyways, I'm just stalling because I'm scared of the prompt jar, but I have picked my first prompt. There's always so much hair. Like, I don't know how hair gets from my head into the prompt jar. I don't know what I do, but anyways, the first prompt for September, if I can open it, is, ooh, read a book with a person on the cover. Okay, that's good because I definitely have a few books that I want to read in September that could count for this. So let me pick one. Okay, so I definitely could have gone with a few books here that I want to fit into this TBR, but the book that I picked is one that I have to read in September, so I figured I'd just get it in when I could. But that is Ferryman by Claire McFall. This is an art copy that I received, so thank you so much to Walker Books US for sending me this copy, and I am doing a review for this book through bookstagrammers.com, and I'll leave them linked down below as well. This book, I don't really remember what it's about, so I'll read you a bit of the synopsis. When Dylan wakes up after her train has crashed, she thinks she has survived unscathed, but she couldn't be more mistaken. The bleak landscape around her isn't Scotland, it's the wasteland, a border to the afterlife, shaped by her own feelings and fears, and the stranger sitting by the train track isn't an ordinary teenage boy. Tristan is a ferryman, tasked with guiding Dylan's soul safely across the treacherous landscape of a journey he has made thousands of times before. Only this time something's different. The crossing is ever as perilous with ravenous, you say? rates, hounding the two at each day's end, hungry for Dylan's soul, but as Dylan focuses her strength on survival, with Tristan as protector, challenger, and confidant, whatever. She begins to wonder where she is truly meant to be and what she must risk in order to get there, blah 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 blah. So this definitely sounds very interesting. I do remember why I wanted to read this now, and there's definitely people on the cover, even though I don't think he's a human, but I think she's a human, and it just, the prompt says people. And even if he's not human, he's still a person. So yeah, this is also fairly short. It's only about 300 pages. So I'm very excited to get to this, and I'm glad that I could fit it into one of these prompts. Where did the prompt go? Oh, okay, so prompt number 1. It went well. As we all know though, the first few prompts are usually pretty easy, and then I run into trouble with prompts 4 or 5. So I'm just gonna pick this one. Wow. Okay, so let's see what prompt number 2 has in store for us. Just really me. Oh, interesting. Read a book that makes you think of Taylor Swift. Interesting. I can't remember who suggested this prompt, but I love it. So let me think. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick another book that I have to read in September. That way we're getting those 2 books into my TBR as quick as possible, because often I have the opportunity to put the books that I have to read into a prompt, but then I don't choose them, and then there are just extra books at the end, and then I end up reading those instead of the books I picked anyways. It's a whole thing. So I'm going to be responsible and pick the Winer's Book Club book for this, which is Like a Love Story by, ooh, who's the author? Okay, so yeah, Like a Love Story by Abdi Nazemian. This is Sasha's pick, so the live show will be on her channel this month, and I honestly don't remember what this book is about, but the title is Like a Love Story, and Taylor Swift has lots of love songs, and like love story, it's the name of her most famous song. So I'm just gonna read the synopsis quickly because I don't really know what this is about. So it's 1989 in New York City, and for 3 teens the world is changing. Reza is an Iranian boy who has just moved to the city with his mother to live with his stepfather and stepbrother. He's terrified that someone will guess the truth he can barely acknowledge about himself. Reza knows he's gay, but all he knows of gay life are the media's images of men dying of AIDS. Judy is an aspiring fashion designer who worships her uncle, Steven, a gay man with AIDS who devotes his time to activism as a member of ACT UP. Judy has never imagined finding romance until she falls for Reza and they start dating. Art is Judy's best friend, their school's only out and proud teen. He'll never be who his conservative parents want him to be, so he rebels by documenting the AIDS crisis through his photographs. As Reza and Art grow closer, Reza struggles to find a way out of his deception that won't break Judy's heart and destroy the most meaningful friendship he's ever known. Wow, that sounds really sad. Let me look up how you say the main character's name. Reza. Okay, yeah, so that sounds amazing and also very sad, but like I could not make this more perfect than I did. Was that English? I don't know. But it's called Like a Love Story, and love story. So it's perfect. I had to choose this book by law. So yes. Let me have a little sip here. Okay, once again, first 2 prompts going well, but I don't trust this thing. I don't trust it. So let's see what the next prompt is. I always feel like I need to create music while I'm choosing the prompt. Okay, prompt number 3. Ooh, I think my mom wrote this one. So let's see. Oh, nature prompt. Read a book with a tree, plant, or flower on the cover. I think you have trees on the cover? Yeah. Yeah. There are trees on this cover. I think this counts. There are trees on this cover. So the book that I'm going to pick was actually on my August TBR, but I didn't get to it in time. But that is Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. I was lucky enough to receive an ARC of this book, and it comes out at the end of September, so I definitely want to read it before it comes out. As we all know, I absolutely adore House in the Cerulean Sea by the same author, so I'm very excited about this one. I think it also involves a ferryman, similar to the book Ferryman. Also, I think this ferryman like brings people who are dying, like they help them pass on. Maybe this is the same book. Maybe this is a video idea. Anyways, I'm very excited about this. I've heard good things from people who have already read it, so yeah, gonna go with that one. Okay, prompt number 4. This is usually when things start getting tricky. Here with this one. Okay, prompt number 4. I think this is one of the newer prompts, so let's see what it is. Prompt number 4. Oh. Read a YA or middle grade by an author who also writes adult books. Read a YA or middle grade by an author who also writes adult books. I don't know. An author who also writes adult books. Okay, I'm definitely gonna have to do some investigating on this because like I have a bunch of books set out on my bed here that I was like, ooh, these can be possible books that I can read, and all of them are adult except for one, but I don't think that author has written any adult books. So I'm gonna have to investigate a little bit. Okay. You're adult. I feel like she's written some books. Let's see.
Many hours later.
Okay. I'm back. I spent so long looking for a book, and I literally, like, I didn't look at every single book that I own because I don't feel like doing that, but I spent a very long time on Goodreads trying to find a book that would work for this, and I literally can only find one book that works for this. I thought I had such a great idea at one point because I was like, oh, I could read Reaper at the Gates because Sabbath Tahir is coming out with an adult novel. And then I looked it up and it's young adult. I thought it was adult. So that doesn't work. So I don't even feel like reading this book this month. So if I do find something else that works for this prompt, maybe I'll switch it out because I don't feel like reading this book this month, which is dumb because like this is the next book in a series. First of all, I should really work on continuing series that I've started. But anyways, and I really liked the first book, so why don't I feel like reading this? I don't know. Maybe it's because I just read this man's ginormous book. But that is Starsight by Brandon Sanderson. Brandon Sanderson, this is a YA book, and we all know he also writes adult books. He wrote The Stormlight Archives, which I started last month, and my brain is just tired. My brain is tired, so I guess I'm reading this book, but very quickly the first book follows this girl named Spensa, and she's dreamed her whole life of becoming a pilot, but her father is known as a coward because he was also a pilot, but in battle he fled and then he was shot down for fleeing, so everyone knows her as the coward's daughter, but she doesn't want that to stop her, so she goes to Pilot Academy. Is that what it's called? I don't remember. Flying Academy? I don't remember. So I need to continue this series. I think the third book comes out soon? I don't remember. But I need to read this. I know I need to read it, so maybe this is what I need to get myself to read this, but I just don't feel like it. This is all I could think of, so if anyone else thinks of something, let me know, but this is what we're going with. That took me so long. I've just been sitting here for like 15 minutes trying to find a book, so we're going with this and we're moving on. Hello, this is Darian about 10 seconds after I stopped filming this video and put my camera away, which is why I'm filming on my phone right now. But I just realized that while I was thinking of a book for this prompt, I did think of Sarah J Maas, but all I can think of was the ACOTAR series, and I really do not feel like continuing that series right now. So I was like, guess I'm not going with Sarah J Maas, until I remembered that I am also in the middle of the Throne of Glass series. Specifically, I have been in the middle of Heir of Fire for a very long time now. I started that book, I think, last August. And I could have just picked that and finished that book and it would have been pretty quick because I'm already halfway through. So what I'm gonna do is, I feel like it's kind of cheating to just take off Starsight and replace it with that. So what I'm gonna do is, if there's a bookoplathon prompt that fits one of them better, then I'll read one of them and it will count, and like I'm not gonna read both of them. So that's what we're gonna do. So for that prompt, I'm gonna be reading either Starsight or finish Heir of Fire. So that's what we're gonna do, okay? Okay. Okay, so I think, is this the last prompt? Yeah, this is the last prompt. So maybe that was the difficult prompt. Here we are, if you want to see that. For some reason, whenever I am picking a prompt, I have the Price is Right music in my head. Like my brain is just like da 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 da. Anyways, ooh, I have two in my hand. Which one are we gonna go with? I'm gonna go with this one. I might regret it, but it's okay. So our last prompt for September. Ooh, read a book someone sent you. Oh, I love this. Okay. Okay. Perfect. This is perfect. So the book that I'm going to pick is one of the books that could work for the buzzwordathon. So this is perfect, but that is My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell, and this was sent to me by my friend Salma. She sent it to me for my birthday, so thank you very much, Salma. But this book is very depressing. It's about a woman who, when she was a teenager, she's in a relationship with one of her teachers, and every time she's thought back to this relationship, she views it as consensual and a healthy relationship. But then in the present day, when she's like in her 30s, other women are starting to come forward that this teacher had abused them, and so it forces her to look back on this relationship and realizes that it wasn't as healthy as she always thought it was. So I've heard this book is very hard-hitting and very disturbing. So I am not excited to read it. I mean, I've heard it's an amazing book and very well written, so I'm looking forward to reading it, but I'm not excited to read it, you know? But I'm glad that I can finally get to it because this has been on my TBR for a while. So yeah, so thank you, Salma, for sending this to me, and thank you to the jar for allowing me to fulfill my buzzwordathon prompt. But yeah, this is the last book in my TBR. So on top of those books, there are a few other books that I would like to get to this month. We'll see how well that goes. But one of them is Pachinko by Min-Jin Lee, and I'm supposed to be buddy reading this with my friend Molly this month, and I am so excited about this book. I think you're just following this Korean family throughout their whole life, and I love stories that follow characters throughout their whole lives. So I'm so excited about this, and I've heard amazing things, and I just have a feeling about this book, and I just have a feeling. So I'm very excited to read this with Molly. Another book that we'll see if I get to it. I highly doubt I will because I already have a Brandon Sanderson book on this TBR. I just read The Way of Kings and my brain is tired, so who am I to think that I'm gonna read this in September? But I'll just put it on my TBR and we'll see what happens. Maybe there's a prompt in bookoplathon that this would fit perfect for, but that is Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. The reason is that in Sydney's Patreon, we discussed doing a buddy read of the series, so I think everyone's gonna start this first book in September, and when it was brought up, I was like, oh my god, I would love to read the Mistborn series with everyone, and now I'm just like, that's another commitment to a Brandon Sanderson series, so we'll see if I get to it. I have this mass market, I mean, this is my brother's, and I stole it, but this is like 650 pages. So it's not 1,000 pages, but it's still very long, and it's another high fantasy. So I feel like everyone at home is just like, you're not gonna read that, you're probably right, but it's on the TBR, we'll see if I get to it. And one last book that I'm going to add to this TBR is September Love by Lang Leave, I think is the author's name, and this is a poetry collection, so I have a feeling I can get through this pretty quickly, like probably in one sitting. And this is a book that I am supposed to be reading for the secret TBR video that I've been working on for forever, and I feel like this would be the perfect time to read it because it's called September Love and it's September now, so I'm just gonna stick that on there, and if I can complete a bookoplathon prompt with that, that would be great. And like I said, it probably won't take me long to read, so it's fine, it all works out. So this is my TBR from the prompt jar plus Under the Whispering Door and Like a Love Story, and then I'm also adding these plus September Love. Jesus. So this is my September TBR plus 3 other books. I think I just said 3 other books. Yeah. So that should be interesting, but I'm very excited about all of these books. I mean, I'm less excited about Starsight, which, like I said, is silly because I really liked the first book, so I don't know why I'm not excited. But if I think of another book to use for that prompt, then I might switch it out because I don't know why, I'm just not excited to read it. I don't know. But let me know if you have read any of these books, if you like them or didn't like them, what have you. Make sure to check out my description box for the bookoplathon announcement video, for the magical readathon announcement video, as well as a bunch of important links that are always in my description. Definitely check those out and see ways you can help things that are going on around the world. And my links are always in the description box down below if you want to check those out as well. But thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon with another video soon. Bye!